This program is brought to you through the kind support of the Friends of That's What She Said. Support BCTV by visiting bctv.org/support.
It used to be great, now it's not so great, but it's still pretty great. Reading. Ate pretzels non-stop and pot pie no top. No dessert till we drop. Perks. Did they really say that? They did not say that. Yeah, they did say that. That's what she said.
Well, here we are, back in your little TV spaces again for another episode of That's What She Said. We have a fun-filled, jam-packed show tonight, so let's get right to it. The introductions, as always.
Me.
Who the heck are you?
I'm Sheila.
I'm Martha.
Nicole.
All right, now that we have all the participants in order, we do have to say, later on in the show, we're going to have a call-in contest where you could win one of these fabulous That's What She Said glasses.
They're so cool.
They're really cool.
Yes, a set
Six.
of
Six.
A set
Wow.
of six.
I'm
not
betting
one.
them.
Wow.
I'm going to win.
It's-
My husband better be
Very
watching.
cool.
Jesse, log in.
It's 6 times better than one. Oh.
They're cool. I like these
Things
glasses very
taste
much.
wonderful when consumed out of these glasses.
But they don't come with the wine.
I want to remind you that, of course, we will be taking calls. If you wish to call, you can't call for the contest until I say, it's contest time, or something like
Yeah.
that. But you can call and chat with us at 610-378-0426, or Twitter us. We have the Twitter ready at @she tweets to me.
I tweeted the wrong number of callers. I put 4 because I
You
thought it was
did.
4.
Well, our producer led you astray. We
I
had,
was led
we
astray.
had to
I was
make a last-minute
bamboozled.
adjustment.
I tweeted and I Facebooked it. Sorry.
That's all right. So if you're calling, if you're watching and you're calling, don't call for the contest until then. Otherwise, just
first.
call and say hi.
Yeah, call us anyway, no matter what.
So speaking of hair,
There.
Donald Trump.
Oh, wow.
Oi.
I'm excited to see this thing go down, I have to say.
I don't mean to be partisan, but one more clown in the car.
He's building that wall around Mexico. What the heck does he mean?
Well,
He's
He
he's
really
going to
thinks
build
he can
it,
do things better.
and Mexico's going to pay for it because they're just like China. I mean, they hate us. I'm not just quoting the Donald, but I couldn't quite get my hair down.
Donald. just President the Donald. No. Come on.
You're not a fan?
No.
I love Donald Trump. I think he's crazy, but I don't know about president. Like,
well,
that's a
man who's-
Work on
Kim
that.
Jong the
considerable
Donald.
job.
it seems a man who's bankrupted business after business isn't quite the role model we're looking for in a leader of our
But
country.
wouldn't it make a great movie? That's perfect.
What?
Yeah.
Kim Jong the
and
Donald.
Donald.
I'm sure Seth MacFarlane is working on that even as we speak.
Oh, he's probably watching.
Hello, Seth.
Hi, Seth. How's it going?
Yes, we hear it's his favorite show. Speaking of favorite shows, I would just like to say that recently there was a comment on our YouTube channel that said, a bunch of nobodies talking about nothing to no one. Now, I think, frankly, that should be our tagline. Except for the nobody part, because you're out there watching us, and we love having you here with us.
And we're all somebody.
Somebody wrote that?
Somebody did.
Okay, somebody wrote. You
Rude.
then
No,
just
I'm
put
just
yourself in your own nobody category.
Somebody's
By the way,
watching it?
just saying,
Yes.
talking to nobody. Well, you saw it. You commented.
Exactly.
You saw it. So
And you need to get a life.
There you
good,
go.
good job, buddy.
Yes, and an anonymous poster posted about.
Well, anything anonymous doesn't count at all. That's chicken.
I know, but I think it means we're a hit, because you don't
Obvious.
get trolls until you're
That's
a
true.
hit. So thank
Hey,
you,
thanks for
anonymous
hating
poster, for
us.
hating us. We love you.
We are not the 1%.
Well,
That's too funny.
I think it's time to do our first little segment. So hit that tape.
It's Jane's Etiquette Quiz.
Well, oops, I keep leaning over here, and I've been told expressly not to lean over there. Why should this show be any different? I forgot to bring Miss Post's book here today. This is the part where I usually read a segment from Miss Post, Emily, or Posty as we called her. But I think that there's something we need to discuss today, and so I was thinking about guns, given the Charleston thing and all of that's going on. So I was thinking, what would Emily say about guns? Well, I searched and searched. There's nothing in the book. There's nothing online. So I decided, WWRD. What would Robert do? Our dear friend Robert Moyer, who was on the show here, he's a seer, a spiritualist, and well, I thought, I will put the lights low in my home, light some candles, and try to channel dear old Posty. Well, I did just that. It was all very quiet, and then all of a sudden this little voice started going in my head. It was Emily, and she said, I have 3 things to tell you. 1, don't ever call me Posty again. I really hate that. 2, if you need a gun, and this is directly from Miss Emily Post, our dear friend, dear departed friend, if you need a gun to express yourself, you have a very limited command of the English language. And 3, don't shoot people! That was very loud in my head, too. So, that was our advice from Miss Emily Post, and I think it's all very valid, and this Charleston thing just has me beside myself. Well, not just the Charleston thing, this continual string of people shooting people. And I'm going to open the floor because I'm a little verklempt at the moment.
Things are getting scary out there.
They are.
It's like in church. If you're not safe in church, where are you safe?
Well, I don't...
Well, that's why it's terrorism, because
This kid,
I heard
yeah.
that discussed. I've heard that discussed today. I don't want to talk about whether he is mentally ill. We didn't talk about the 9/11 bombers as if they were mentally ill. He's a terrorist. He's a racist, but he's a terrorist. And the definition of terrorism is to create an act that will scare and have ripple effect. That you will harm a certain number of people, but a whole lot of other people. And what he has just done is what happened with
lots of places.
well, in Colorado with Columbine.
Yeah.
Suddenly
Sandy Hook.
we realized school wasn't the safe place we always thought it was going
That's right,
to be.
Sandy Hook.
And
I forgot about that almost.
now black churches are not safe. And I heard a man today say he was a white man, had gone into a black church over the weekend, and he said people were looking. People suddenly, who have always welcomed white people into their churches, are now afraid.
Suspicious.
And that's terrorism.
And we must overcome the fear.
Yes.
We have to be strong in the face of fear, because if we react negatively and obsessively to this fear and fall under its spell, we are doomed. We must remain...
But
I know.
I don't disagree
I can
with that,
tell
but
you
I think
that
it's just hard to think
and
that way after
how
something
I felt
happens.
after 9/11, it never, ever occurred to me as a teacher that I would be unsafe in school, that I would have to practice drills to get my kids out of the sight of the window and the door, that I would have to lie down on the floor, hide behind desks. We did that in with the A-bomb tests. But that never occurred to me. When parents sent kids to school, they knew they were going to be safe. And then all of a sudden we realized that's gone.
Well, it seems we've all forgotten all across the globe, everywhere, in every little corner, that we are all people. And there are so many avenues one can pursue to discuss. We don't all have to like the same thing. There's my nugget for tonight. We don't all have to like the same thing, but we have to respect that other people may like something different than you.
We don't have to
Is that
believe
very
the
hard?
same thing.
No. You don't have to you don't have to agree, you just have to be respectful of
Exactly.
the differences.
And I like that you said the terrorist thing, because I read an article a couple days ago where they were talking about how if it's a person of color or a different ethnicity or race that commits one of these acts, it's immediately labeled terrorism. But if it's a white person that commits it, they
They're
say,
mentally
there's a
ill.
mental illness. It was something wrong in his family. No, this was an act of terrorism.
I don't care if he
I
was
don't care.
mentally-
Yeah, I don't
mentally
care
ill.
what
I
else
don't
you say
care
about it.
about
it.
This kid did an unspeakable act,
Yeah.
and he knew what he was doing.
And I will
He
say
sat
that
down
planned
with
it
them.
Being mentally
He
ill does
sat
not mean
down
you
with
do
them.
not know what you're
No.
doing.
And people from that church who were witnesses to what happened and who lost loved ones who actually said they forgave him. One woman
that-
said, "I am still angry
Those are
with
big
you."
people.
I could not do that.
They're
I
not angry with
could
him,
not
she
do
said?
that.
I thought about
Wow.
it too. You know, I thought about my aunt and my grandparents being at church, and what if that had happened to them? And could I forgive?
No,
I thought that
I'm
was a
not.
beautiful act
I don't think
that
I
this
could.
community did.
And they were very serious about
yeah,
it.
I-
I mean, that's
Well-
a faith
moves
I
me.
don't have.
Yeah.
I think we're going to skip. Can we skip over the outro? No. All right, fine. Play the outro quickly.
It's Jane's Etiquette Corner.
We got you on camera by accident.
Well, there we go. And I ended that quickly because I wanted to. We have a tweet who's from our dear friend Becca who says Seinfeld had a show for years about nothing. So,
Oh, exactly.
That's
Good
right.
on you,
Thank
Becca.
you.
And but I saw our first guest over here chomping at the bit to join in this conversation, and I should have just said open the camera. But we have the Reverend Barbara Peronteau with us, who is going to tell us a little bit about what's coming up, and it's so connected with what kind of we've just
There's
been
a lot
discussing.
of intersectionality that happens with people who are deemed different and marginalized and pushed aside, and we're all pushing back and saying, no, we have a place in this world too, and this is our place, and so no, there's a lot of intersectionality going on. So, hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you here.
Is Jane looking fabulous?
Yes.
Oh.
Always looks fabulous.
Fantastic.
We all look
outfit.
fabulous. We are all women of a
Marvelous.
certain cloth. So I hear there's some wonderful event coming up.
There is a wonderful event coming up, and it is the Reading Pride Celebration Interfaith Service. We have an interfaith service. So Reading Pride is on July 19th, and we decided to have sort of combine it all this year, but a week before will be the interfaith service. And the interfaith service is actually interfaith. It used to be, in days gone by, that interfaith meant that the Presbyterians and the Methodists got together to have a potluck. Well, this is, we have Christian participation, Unitarian Universalist participation. We have Buddhist participation, Jewish participation, and we have, I'm missing some, American, Native American, Indian participation. So I believe this is truly an interfaith service. And it is July 11th. It's happening July 11th at 7 p.m. at First Unitarian Universalist Church of Berks County. It is at 416 Franklin Street. The zip is 19602 in Reading. So please come to that. Now the theme of this year's service, it's an interfaith service. So every year we start from scratch, and it's kind of like creating a theme party every year. What do? We did great last year. How do we top it this year, or what
Just
do we
like
do?
Kim Kardashian's next wedding.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
I'm going.
Keeping up with the Kardashians, we got to keep up with ourselves and create a new theme. Well, this year, the theme is You Are Beautiful. No matter who you are or where you are in life's journey, you are beautiful.
That's really neat.
and just sorry, let me interrupt you there.
Sure.
Don't you think a lot of our differences worldwide come from a sense of lesser self and insecurity? A lot of the hatred and things we feel against somebody else is often directed at ourselves, and how we view the world through that filter?
I think there's a lot of insecurity, absolutely. Yeah, because if you're so insecure that you can't allow somebody else to live or have their religion and faith, that you have to somehow invade that, there's an insecurity that's happening inside. And that's not just here in Charleston or Reading, it's going on in Iran, Iraq,
Indeed.
Syria. So, yeah, the world is full of that.
Back to your notes.
Absolutely. So, you are beautiful is the theme.
That's wonderful.
And it's for the LGBTQI community. And everybody is invited. But what we want to say in Reading Pride is that the lesbian, gay, can I go off into the weeds a tad bit?
Oh, we always do.
So let me go off the
Why should you be any different?
Okay. Oh, boy. So the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex is the what we have. And let's start saying that, I think, a little more, instead of just saying LGBTQI. And then what we do, even allies do this, even we do this in our own community, is we start rolling our eyes at how many letters there are. And we say, oh, the whole alphabet. But I want to say, behind every letter in the LGBTQI is someone. There is someone there who doesn't think they're beautiful.
Yes.
And you are beautiful. And you are going through a time in your life. It may be a wonderful time. It may be a joyful time. It may be a time that you're being bullied by your peers. But remember, you are beautiful. It may be a time you're having issues with your parents. You're coming out. You are beautiful. You're having issues with your family, your larger family. You are beautiful. And behind every one of those letters is someone who is experiencing something. And behind every one of those letters is someone with hopes and joys and a smile and a soul and just looking forward till tomorrow for it to get better. So that's who we are in the LGBTQI community.
Bravo, Barbara.
Indeed.
Well said.
And what we hear in the public discourse as we turn on the TV and listen to the radio is that what we hear from various faiths, and mostly coming from the Christian, because they seem to be sort of vocal, and I'm talking about the fundamental Christian, conservative Christian sort of corner, is we don't hear that we're beautiful. Sometimes we hear, and this is for the mainline churches as well, we hear we're open, and we hear we're affirming, and we hear we're welcome. But do we hear that you are beautiful? That inside you there is something that God made. However you understand that in your faith journey, that there is a goodness, there is a beauty that is inside each one of us, and that includes anyone who is in the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex community.
God doesn't make mistakes.
No, and that's an issue. God does not make mistakes. We are part of human sexuality. We are part of God's gender. For me as a Christian, God made us male and female. Well, ta-da! Okay, and part of how we got to here and creating our theme is, okay, we're scratching our heads. What do we do this year? What in the world do we do? So Lent is coming up, and one of the themes, like the second week in Lent or something, maybe the first or second week in Lent, was Psalm 139. And it says several things within that psalm. One, it says, we are wondrously made, that God made us, and it says, we are wondrously made. And read that now. Read that as if you're trans. Read that as if you're lesbian. Read that as if you're gay. Read that as if you're queer. We are wondrously made. And
And there's no but.
And there's no but, there's no asterisk down at the bottom that says, oh, but if you're trans, it doesn't count for you. No, absolutely. So if we're reading scripture, we're reading it, God is speaking to me. And we can go into Isaiah, and I'm not going to do all that too. But Isaiah loves us, and here I am. God has a monument in the middle of heaven, in the middle with your name on it.
Now,
So-
the unfortunate part of the show is
I have to keep going. Okay, so here we go.
I'm getting to move along.
So we're going to move along, and so we have someone. Okay, so then, but the theme has to be larger than you are wondrously made, because you can't take just a Christian Judeo-Christian theme and plug the Buddhists into it or the Unitarians. We have to have a larger theme. So the theme is you are beautiful. And then that is our theme.
So this is July 9th.
It is July 11th.
11th.
July,
7
pay
o'clock.
attention over here.
Sorry.
July
Not good
11th
with numbers,
at
Barbara.
7 o'clock
And are you?
at the Unitarian Church on Franklin Street.
And will you be one of the
I will be there, and
will you be leading the service or?
I will be probably the mistress of ceremony.
Wonderful.
Yay.
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
Because I have
I would like to
I have
be
seen
there.
you preach, and you are very powerful and wonderful.
Well,
Well,
we've seen
thank you.
some of it today. and
Thank
it's
you.
wonderful.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
But indeed, one more time on that. Is there a website one can go to?
Well, you could probably find it on Reading Pride
Okay.
celebration website and go from there.
Yeah,
and we're-
Google
we're there.
Reading Pride celebration, and there should be some sort of information about this one thing. But we,
Thank you for having me.
Oh, we thank
It's a
you so
delight.
much. You are amazing, and
you.
I love that you came on to the show.
Come anytime.
Indeed.
Yes.
That's our wonderful friend, the Reverend Barbara Peronteau, and we love you.
Likewise, I'm sure.
And, you
And
are
now,
wonderful.
to please our producer, we're moving on.
Okay.
Remember, you can call us at 610-378-0426 or tweet us at @sign. I guess I don't really need to say that. Well, those who don't, huh?
Yeah.
Do I? Okay.
Barbara, would
I've
you
been
like some
told
more
that I
wine
do.
before you leave?
@sign, she tweets to me. I have it right here. But I had an exciting day the other day. My friend Kirk is doing Oklahoma up at Dutch Apple Dinner Theater, and I took a trip up there just to see the show, and he invited me backstage, so I got to speak to a few people before the show. So, well, just roll that tape.
Go away, the wind comes sweeping down the lane, and the wave and wheat can sure smell sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. Oh, Oklahoma every night, my honey land and I sit alone and talk and watch a hawk making lazy circles in the sky. We know we belong to the land, and the land we belong to is grand. And when we say, I-E-I-O-E, we're only saying you're doing fine, Oklahoma, Oklahoma, okay.
Well, hello, darlings. My friend Kirk is in this wonderful thing called Oklahoma, and he unfortunately has been called off to work on his choreography because I hear he's not quite the dancer he should be. But a little bit about Oklahoma. By the way, who am I with?
I'm Carver Duncan.
I'm Avery Bryce Epstein.
And who are you?
Well,
In the show.
I play Cord Elam, who is the federal marshal in the territory of Oklahoma.
I play Sylvie. She is one of the girls in Oklahoma. She gets along with everyone.
She's a little off balance, if you know what I mean.
Well, I can't,
Silly.
I'm going to see the show tonight. I just can't
Oh.
wait. When does this take place?
It takes place in 1905, and it's right before Oklahoma becomes a state. So the territory is booming with excitement about the fact that soon will be a state and how much pride we all have for the place that we live. And
So really it should be titled Territory.
Whoa!
but that doesn't make as good a title song, does it?
No, it
Definitely
really
not.
doesn't. Territory.
Territory.
That would be kind of
Yeah,
lame.
that's passe.
So,
Oscar, what do you think?
And the book
Yeah.
is really great too. So, like, firstly, it's a play, but then what's great is that it has music
Right.
and dancing.
Right.
And also, it teaches people about acceptance, which I think is really great.
but
Through
that
the farmer
sounds-
and the cowman. You know?
Right.
And,
Should be
and,
friends.
They should be friends.
and this is at Dutch Apple Dinner Theatre.
Yes.
Yes.
the Dutch Apple.
And when does it play?
It runs until August 1st.
Wonderful. And
Yeah.
is it DutchApple.com? Oh, yes, I think it is.
I think it is.
DutchApple.com.
You must
Yes.
be right.
I should let you get ready for the show. So,
Okay.
thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Let's stretch.
Yes, stretch. 1, 2, 3. Do something dancey. Oh my goodness, that was amazing. I haven't been able to do that in 50 years.
I still can't. That was my stand-in who just did that.
All right then. Thank you so much for joining us, Carver and Avery.
Anytime, Jane.
And we'll see you on stage.
Yay!
Well, it was a rousing, wonderful production, and I advise everyone to go see it. It's at Dutch Apple, www.dutchapple.com. Apple is spelled like Apple is. Anyway.
There's a lot of good theater going on these days.
Like the computers, you know.
Look at the sign in the grocery store. That's how you spell Apple. Now, from that wonderful, we're going to keep the arts theme going. We have joining us Susan Wagner and Aaron Preston, who was there. Well, Susan, you are. Well, tell us. You're something. What do you do with the Poetry Out Loud?
We're here to talk about the program called Poetry Out Loud, which is a national poetry recitation competition for high school students. A group of English teachers, Jerry Corenda, Janet King, Angie Rodriguez, and Paige Seckler, began the program at Reading High 10 years ago. The national program is now 10 years old. And 1 year into it, I had the great good fortune to be invited to come and help to coach the students. And I've become the sort of closer for our kids who win the high school. They must first win a classroom competition, and then the high school competition, and then a regional competition, a state competition, and a national competition.
Now, how ugly does it get?
Not terribly, but in those 10 years, Reading High has had 8 regional champions for
That's fantastic.
Lancaster,
That's
Lebanon, and Berks County.
And he's one of them, isn't he?
Yes, he's
Look
been
at that.
regional champion.
Check it out.
He was also very wonderful in Reading High's recent production of Rent.
Yes, he got 2 Why Not awards.
He was
I gotta
quite
tell you, like,
amazing.
Aaron's
French
pretty
horn
wonderful
player.
at a lot of things.
Holy
And
mackerel,
we've
Aaron.
also had 2 state champions in that amount of time. Daphne McMaster, who was in the top 5 nationally, and Ivana Smith, who was 3rd in the nation.
Wow.
Aaron was 2nd in the state last year.
That's wonderful.
So it's a great gig, and
That's
I am so
fantastic.
happy to be able to be doing it. And Aaron can tell you more about his experience.
Well, it definitely started, 4 years ago when I guess you could say I was drafted.
She's not a subtle woman, is she?
Love her all the same. But it was more just a question at first. Have you ever heard of Poetry Out Loud? And so, of course, I hadn't. And of course, it was necessary. It's a part of the curriculum for us to recite a poem, not to win the classroom competition, but just graded on, I think, just generally memorization. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, every student participates, and from my first participation, I was definitely interested, to say the least.
That's awesome.
Yes, and from then they just suggested that I should join. I'll say suggested.
What is it about poetry that moves you?
If you were to have asked me that question 4 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to answer you. But I can definitely say now that it's no longer just reading it and trying to understand it, which, don't get me wrong, it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. Especially Susan, she could attest for that. Some things that I would miss, she, well, to say the least, picks up. And then she enlightens me. But it's bringing the dead poet to life, at least in the Poetry Out Loud competition. Because, and we've discussed this quite a few times, that poetry is best said aloud, or at least I feel as though it is. It brings a whole different interpretation to the table.
I think, I even think, and the popularity of audiobooks is, I think, indicative that most written language is better out loud. Even every writer who's writing something is hearing it, not reading it.
I once heard an interview with Arthur Miller, who of course is a playwright and writes dialogue, but he said that he goes out to a shed at the back of his house to do his writing, and he speaks everything in all the appropriate accents before he puts it down on paper.
I mean, I think you can't truly know what life a piece has until you hear it out loud.
Exactly. I heard a poet say also one time that it's really what you bring to the poem, not what he has put in the poem. I always found it very difficult to teach poetry when my teacher's manual said Robert Frost meant this. I heard Robert Frost speak when I was at Penn State, and somebody said to him, "So when you wrote stopping by woods on a snowy evening, what's the symbolism?" And he said, "There really was none. I simply stopped by a woods." Like it really now, we English teachers have found incredible symbolism in every word. Wow. He had none, but we've brought it to it, and that's fine. But to say this is what Robert Frost meant, I don't think English teachers have the right to say that. This is what I think he meant, might be appropriate, and that's what you bring when you recite poem. You bring to the poem the life that it needs to have. I think that's hugely important.
Well, I think that's the beauty of anything we interpret, whether it be a novel, a poem, or a play. We bring our own baggage and joys and hatreds and disappointments and love to that piece.
Right.
And it colors everything we do. Now, do you have... Can we hear you?
Oh, yes.
Can you do something?
Poem to recite.
Excellent.
If you guys don't mind. No. Leda and the Swan by William Butler Yeats. A sudden blow. The great wings beating still above the staggering girl. Her thighs caressed by the dark webs. Her nape caught in his bill. He holds her helpless breast upon his breast. How can those terrified, vague fingers push the feathered glory from her loosening thighs? And how can body laid in that white rush but feel the strange heart beating where it lies? A shudder in the loins engenders there the broken wall, the burning roof and tower, and Agamemnon dead. Being so caught up, so mastered by the brute blood of the air, did she put on his knowledge with his power before the indifferent beak could let her drop? Thank you.
Oh, bravo. Oh, Yates is smiling on you. You brought to that.
Thank you, and it's definitely not just me. I mean, I'm the
you
finished product.
You are the finished product.
Yeah.
And he's
beautifully done.
I mean, anything we perform is a conglomeration of many people's efforts.
Exactly.
And,
it really is.
But in the end, it's you standing there
and
lovely work.
Beautiful.
Poetry students have been appearing as part of the Fall Festival of the Arts for a number of years now, the Trinity Lutheran Christ Episcopal Fall Festival. They've been reciting at the art show opening. And they're going to do that again this year on the 11th of September at Trinity Lutheran Church at 6 o'clock. And they have also, Aaron and two of his colleagues have also appeared with David McConnell's choral ensemble, Vox Filia, in their Christmas concert.
Oh, wow.
So.
It's good to see it branching out and, for lack of a better word, infecting other art forms.
Excellent, and that's why we're very happy to be here.
You have,
So,
Aaron, a voice, a smile, a face. I don't want to let go. I just,
now you are a senior
magical.
this year, correct?
Well, he just graduated.
You just graduated.
Just
graduated.
Now, is there poetry out loud beyond the high school realm, or
That's not that I'm aware of.
no?
You'll
I
find
had a-
something
yeah.
at University of Miami.
You don't
You'll find
plan on
something.
going into poetry or linguistics or
Oh no.
things like that as a major. But how will this experience impact you through your college years and as an adult?
Well, definitely, for one, I can say I'm never going to forget any of the poems I've learned. And I've learned quite a bit over the years, just actually for fun. After the first few poems, it became infectious. But I can definitely say that I'm going to try and find like a slam poetry center or something along those lines.
You will find
That would be
them. They
awesome.
will
Keep it
be there.
alive.
Excellent.
There's
Now, do you-
a subversive poetry group no matter where you go to college, and you will find it. You look on the bulletin boards, they put up little subversive notices that
everywhere.
Do you write
you will
your own?
find them.
Oh, no, sorry.
Well, start. That you should start doing that.
Doing
I'd
what?
love to
should
try.
Maybe one day.
Painting, yeah.
Because I can tell from the delivery that there's lots living inside you that certainly would lend itself to being put on paper.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, thank you.
One of the things that judges look for in Poetry Out Loud is that each of the 3 poems that they recite in competition should be very different. So Aaron has many different voices, and if you have time, he can give you another one of his
Let me
voices.
glance at our producer.
Oh, please do.
All right.
Okay. And now this is on the opposite end of the repertoire. God's Grandeur by Gerard Manley Hopkins. The world is charged with the grandeur of God. It will flame out like shining from shook foil. It gathers to a greatness like the ooze of oil crushed. Why do men then now not wreck his rod? Generations have trod, and all is seared with trade, bleared, smeared with toil, and wears man's smudge and shares man's smell. The soil is bare now, nor can foot feel, being shod. And for all this, nature is never spent. There lives the dearest freshness deep down things. And though the last lights off the black west wind, oh, morning at the brown brink eastward springs, because the Holy Ghost over the bent world broods with warm breast, and with, bright wings. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. Oh,
Very
well
nicely
done,
done.
Aaron.
There is a website
will
for
never
Poetry
stop.
Out Loud.
Ah,
You
And
wonderful. You think
all you
you're
have to
gonna go
do
into psychology
is
and
type
all
in
that stuff.
Poetry Out Loud and it will come up. Students may choose their poems from the poems listed on the website, and there are hundreds of poems listed on the website. So one of the difficulties at the outset is to find poems that fit the speaker. Because that's another important point of how the poems are judged. And Aaron has found poems that fit him admirably.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, and to answer a question that you asked earlier about whether or not it's cutthroat, it's never been that way, and I'm surprised. Everyone I've met has always
No
been
one's ever replaced your pages while you're learning something.
Switch your pages around. That would be so funny.
No, to say the least, it's the opposite. They've always been so friendly and so welcoming, and that's why one of the many reasons I'm glad I participated.
That's
wonderful.
absolutely wonderful. And so, do you know the website? Sorry.
I don't know the
Google
address, but it's
Poetry Out
just
Loud.
Poetry Out Loud, and it will come up.
PoetryOutLoud.org.
Oh, yes, and also the Fall Festival.
Right.
Yes, the Fall Festival is www.fallfestivalofthearts.org.
So it's Fall of the Lots.
www.fallfestivalofthearts.org. Sorry, I thought you were in a hurry.
No, yeah.
Aaron, you must come back and visit us. I know you're going to Miami, but you must let us know when you're home. And I mean, that was just inspiring.
And
For
towards-
that person who said we're nobody.
Tough.
He's somebody.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the summer, we want to have you back, and so you can tell us more about the Fall Festival coming up.
I would love to come back.
Unfortunately, now we have to zip along, says our producer. So we are going to a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Quality television is expensive to produce. BCTV produces over 20 hours a week of live television. We also record on location in our community. With a small staff of 7 and community volunteers, we bring you information on health, the economy, government, the arts, sports, and much more. Community dialogue is our mission and our passion. If the information that our programming provides has benefited you, please give your support to BCTV Now. Simply go on our website and click the Donate Now button, call us, or send us a check. Your support will keep BCTV alive.
Hey everyone, I'm Kimberly Rivera, part of the Leadership Berks class of 2015 and Executive Director of Girls on the Run of Berks County. Girls on the Run thinks BCTV is a superstar in our community for so many reasons. Most importantly, because BCTV is the community media channel for, by, and about residents of Berks County. Did you know that you, yes, I'm talking to you, can submit stories, photos, and videos all about local events, issues, and activities? You have the power to make your voice heard and strengthen our community. Be informed, be involved, and please support BCTV.
Making a donation to BCTV is easy. Simply go to bctv.org and click the Support BCTV Donate Now button. It will take you to a form where you can enter your information, safe and secure. You can also mail us a check. If you have any questions, feel free to call us or email us. Why not consider becoming a member? Members receive a variety of great perks. Under About Us, click the Be a Member link. Help us continue to keep bringing you the programs and information you enjoy, on TV and on the web. Your support will keep BCTV alive.
Here we are back again after that short break. We again thank the Reverend Peronteau, Aaron Preston, and Susan Wagner for joining us in our first half. They were all absolutely wonderful and very...
That was wonderful.
That really was.
Very
that was fantastic.
Inspiring. We do have a tweet. Yes, Miss Diane Stone Fusaro, Ms. Diane Stone Fusaro, who was our jewelry lady here on the one show one time, said she actually saw Oklahoma and says that Kirk did a great job with his choreography, which I find hard to believe, but he didn't stumble the night I saw him. So we have to thank goodness for that.
That's funny.
It's time, ladies and gentlemen. It's time. If you are the third caller, you will win a set of 6. That's what she said, glasses. Go!
Oh my gosh.
And while we wait, ooh, listen, I can hear the phones ringing through the window. Sorry, you were the first caller, you didn't win. Call again. While we wait for that to come to its exciting conclusion.
Oh, I heard so many rings.
My goodness, there are. The phones are
The
ringing off
phones
the
are
hook.
blowing up. My Twitter is blowing up
And remember,
as
you
well.
can call us at 610-378-0426 or tweet us at She Tweets to Me. So, while we're waiting for to get notice of the, is it the surprise topic something that could be interrupted if necessary?
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
It is interruptible. So.
Can I just?
Oh, wait! Hello, home viewer. Who are you?
Jane, this is Jason.
Oh my goodness, it's our dear friend Jason. Are you the winner of our cup? You can stop calling now. Well, unless you want to just talk to us.
Yeah, you can say hi.
But the glasses are gone. How are you, darling?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, absolutely wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you, and I always enjoy your show.
And it is true. Everything tastes better when consumed out of them.
I think so.
I've been doing extensive research, and it's true.
You could put Brussels sprouts in these glasses, and they'd actually taste good. They're amazing. So you're having a good? Are you enjoying the show tonight, darling?
Yes, I am. I always enjoy being with you ladies on Monday night.
That's absolutely wonderful. And thank you for joining us. Congratulations on the win, and stay on the line. I believe Joan or Rachel will be with you to take down your information, and we'll get those glasses right out to you. Maybe I'll even deliver them myself.
Oh, that'll be fun.
That's fun.
Thank you for joining us. Ah, well, my goodness, that was quick. Those phones were.
That phone went berserk.
We need that more often. Let's give away something.
Is there only one person answering the phone in there?
We should.
Because she was probably like, her head was probably. I work at a call center, so I get it. Like my phone's always there. So like I can imagine what she's like. Like, oh my God, please. Like this.
So now that we have had topic interrupt us,
She quit.
I would have too. She quit.
continue with your surprise topic.
Oh yeah. First of all, let me say that I am terrible at surprise topic. I
I
hate when I get it,
love 'em.
and I knew
that's
because
a
I missed our
terrible way
meeting.
to start.
I know. I knew when I
like
missed
a
our meeting.
compromise.
I was like, I turned to my mom and I was like, I'm gonna get that surprise topic, and I did. But
So we've lowered our expectations, and the surprise topic is
So obviously
maybe
Nicole's
or maybe
scared
not
of
going to
this.
suck. So
okay. Anyway. So I think I have one because then when I do get surprise topic, I'm like, I'll pull from what's happening in my life. So what I've seen on Facebook lately is a lot of my friends are either at Disney or they're on the countdown to Disney.
so many people are at Disney right now.
Everybody's at Disney, or they're counting down to Disney, or they're planning their next trip to Disney. Some people go 2 or 3 times a year to Disney.
How do they afford that?
Thank you. This is my
not
question.
cheap.
This is my question. I'm gonna go a little Seinfeld here. What's the big deal about Disney?
And they take these little kids who do not remember this. Like, why are you spending that kind of money on
I
a kid that
swear to
doesn't
God,
remember?
my son was 10 minutes old, and my dad was like, when are we doing the Disney cruise? I'm like, can we
When
have him at an
David can
age?
speak.
Yeah, when he can remember what he's doing.
Oh my goodness.
Well, that flew fast.
It
didn't
did. Well, I have to say I love Disney, but I love Epcot.
Okay.
Epcot,
different.
the Epcot Food and Wine Festival in October, November
really cool.
is wonderful. And I do like a little bit of Disney on the side. But I would never take a child that was little. You have to wait till they appreciate it so they can have fun. If you're taking a child, you just want to go to. If you're taking a tiny child who can't understand it, you just want to go to Disney and want to drag the child along.
Yeah,
But
I don't know, but I see friends of mine got married at Disney, so they go back every year. And I'm not saying like, oh, what you're doing, what you're doing is wrong. That's great. Like
Now,
Disney
careful.
is awesome.
It's
I
where
just,
Kirk
like,
and Jamie went on their honeymoon.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. Like people do it on their honeymoon,
So watch
and that's awesome. No, I'm not saying anything
Don't
negative.
mess with the producer. He can be a testy little guy.
How do you
watching, so
how do you go back so often? I don't know. Like for people who go there all the
times can
time,
you see it all,
how many times can you see it all?
Indeed.
I don't know, and I'm excited
Yeah.
to see it through the eyes of my child. Like I'm excited for David to discover it and see all these things. But
It is wonderful.
It doesn't.
But the
interest
obsession
me as
to
much. Is that
You
wrong?
know, I have to say, I'm going to be the. I'm not a Disney fan for
Aren't you?
no, for business reasons. I think
business.
the Disney
The Disney.
corporate, the Disney corporation. I question a lot of their dealing. I don't like what they've done to Broadway, and I think there ought to be another genre, American musical and Disney musicals, but they kind of
love Disney
My
musicals. I can't.
concern is,
I'm
I taught
sorry.
an 8th grade or a 6th grade class one time, 25 6th graders. They were all kind of lower middle class, and I asked them. They had all been to Disney World. They had never been to the Reading Museum, which is almost free. And I knew the families, and I know they had to scrape to go to Disney World. the thing that bothers me is people. This is an amazing country with so many things to see, and to go to Disney World with your children time after time, instead of spending that money once in a while and going to see Niagara Falls or the Grand Canyon or the Empire State Building, it again makes us Americans very provincial, and that bothers me.
For a country which we seem to think is expansive, we insulate ourselves from so many different experiences. Our friend Becca says she took her daughter Lorna, when she was
I remember pictures of that.
when she was 7, but she doesn't remember it. Now, I think I would remember something if I was 7.
I think 7's an appropriate age.
Things that I went
think
to
I
see
would
when
remember.
Lorna's a busy little girl. She does things a lot, so she probably
well,
could have forgotten.
her head is so filled with so many amazing things that she's done. But yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful place. I love it.
Yeah, I don't hate Disney. I enjoyed the times I was there.
But there are so many other places to explore.
And it's so expensive to go to.
Yeah, and that's the thing that gets me. Like, my husband and I look at that and we could just
which
go to
is
the
which
beach for a
Disney?
week.
Isn't there one in California?
There's
and one in
Disneyland, Disney World.
Which?
Indeed.
Disneyland
And
is
speaking of exploring, Martha just got, well, you both got back from a trip, but Martha went outside of the country.
I did. I was in Nova Scotia for a week. And
Not far outside the
I have
country,
to tell
Grant.
you,
You're outside the
I
country.
really, really love Atlantic Canada. We love the people. We had the most wonderful conversations with people. First of all, people up there, I think I've found my people. Everyone likes to talk. Nobody's too busy to have a conversation, whether you're pumping gas, whether you're buying a newspaper. They stay and talk to you. It's wonderful. It's just, and they're friendly, but the thing that I heard in 3 different times was how much they respect our president, and they wonder why we don't. Our president,
and we don't,
and we
right?
don't, and that
Because
the
Americans
rest
are
of the
rude.
because one of the persons said to us, the rest of the country or the rest of the world thinks he's pretty awesome, and he's a fine statesman, which is what you needed after his predecessor. We don't hear that here, and I think because we Americans forget about what the rest of the world might be thinking, and we become so political and so marginalized.
I think that he...
Anyway, we had a great time in Nova Scotia, and if we could, we would, in fact, forgive me, but if one of those folks that are from the far conservative, radical left or right win, I think we may very seriously think of going to Nova Scotia for a longer period of time.
Just on the Obama thing, I have to say that I think in the face of the 7 years now of absolute daily absurd and I do not agree with everything he's done.
No.
I agree with a lot of it, but I think the vitriol that has been thrown at this man, it far exceeds anything any leader of the country, of any country, should ever have to deal with, and the incivility of this.
Absolutely.
However you feel about him, like
he's
it's
our
just
president.
appalling.
Is not
Exactly.
necessary.
Look at how it's one of the people we
still
talked
your
to said,
president.
look at how much he's aged. She said, I see him and I want to cry when
Yeah,
I
like,
realize
it's
what
a
you
stressful
people have
job.
done to him.
I mean, and this gets very personal, but back in the 80s when Ronald Reagan was president, and I saw friend after friend after friend dying of AIDS, and Ronald Reagan said absolutely nothing about it. I still never said I was going to kill the man.
No.
And
Because
this
he's still
man,
your president.
exactly.
You still have to be
But he was
respectful,
white
whatever you say.
also.
So it's just the.
He never would have gotten the ire that Obama gets because
So
of that.
we are quickly running out of time. So I want to.
I can't believe how
and
fast
you're
this
welcome,
hour
Jason. We
flew.
got the tweet. Yes, indeed. I can't wait to see you drinking beer in those. You'll have to send us a
Send us
picture.
a picture. We can
Send
put
us
it
a
on
picture
air.
of you
We'll
sitting
do a
back
show from your
enjoying
house.
it.
Hey, how
Is there
about that?
anything anybody wants to plug, mention?
I do.
Yes.
too.
I live 2 blocks from Governor Mifflin's high school, and their community days is starting next
I'm
week.
going to be there on Saturday night for the fireworks. I can't wait.
Well, I mean, if you have nowhere else to go, we
That's
can see
where
the
you go.
fireworks from my house. So we're going
Nice.
to be having a little get together. Bring camp chair, hang out, watch the fireworks. it's the greatest thing since I've moved to this area, and I discovered these fireworks because fireworks are like my favorite thing on the planet.
Those fireworks are just amazing.
And they do an amazing job. And to go and sit in that area with 1,000 people and everyone's oohing and awing and you hear kids like with the wonderment, it makes me cry. It makes me like I love fireworks and I love how it brings people together. Fireworks are the greatest thing. Come see fireworks.
Fireworks. I'm fearful of them. I don't like
Fighting Phils. I don't know when the Fighting Phils are in town again, but they have fireworks every night and they're pretty awesome.
Oh, indeed.
Family Phils, great family entertainment.
I have a plug.
Yes.
At Genesius, Rent. Running from Wednesday through Sunday. They haven't added a midnight show on Friday, so, that's going to be a fun one, I think.
How many tickets left?
Not many tickets left. There's so really get your tickets. Like this show is insane.
That's absolutely wonderful.
I've seen Rent a million times. I can't even tell you. Like I've never actually felt it before.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's different.
All right. Anything else, darlings? I have nothing. We already plugged Oklahoma for Kirk. So,
The Reading Theater Project has a 5-minute fringe benefit on Labor Day weekend.
Oh, well, that's fun.
That's way ahead. I'll keep plugging that. But
yeah,
just want to say.
Forget Labor Day. We are near that. Anyway, so remember to like us on Facebook. Where are we on Facebook? Facebook.com/she posts to me. We're trying to be very twee with the she tweets to me, she posts to me. We're on that'swhatshesaid.com, that'swhatshesaidonline.com. Of course, she tweets to me on Twitter. And we want to thank Joan, Rachel, and Rachel.
Rachel's.
Yes, it's an evening of Rachel's and Joan. For being a wonderful studio. And as always, BCTV, who are insane to give us this lovely home. But we thank them that they do. Indeed. So,
and our guests.
And our next show, and our wonderful guests. The Reverend Barbara, who's sitting over there in the dark. She's peering on. And Susan Wagner and Aaron Preston and Poetry Out Loud for just being wonderful. And our next show, make sure you tune in. It's live. It's all new. We don't know what the heck it's going to be, but we'll figure that out in the intervening time. It is on Monday, July 27th at 9. Have a good night, everyone. Bye. Thank you for tuning in.